Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel and the start of a new build. The let off Lunac glider is hanging on the hook and the varnish is drying. So while we wait for suitable maiden weather, I thought I'd just make a quick start on my next model, and it's a bit unusual. It's before the First World War, and yeah, it's just my sort of aeroplane. So okay, so what is this new aeroplane, Cliff? Well, it's a model from 1913, and this particular model has been drawn up by David Boddington, well-known British designer. So what could it possibly be? Well, it's unusual. That's what I like. So let's show you what it is. Right, show you a picture. I printed this out from AutoZone, so I'll link to the design in the description, but it is a Lee Richards annular monoplane. Okay, hard to believe that this actually was a very successful aeroplane, and if it hadn't have been for the war coming on, it could have gone on to great things. Anyway, this is a model. And these are the build. Well, this was the article back in, what aero modeler is it? Sorry, radio control scale aircraft. Have I got a date on there? Back in the 80s, I think it was. Here's an interesting shot. Yeah, the servos look quite big, so it's probably in the 80s. Interesting. Not a huge amount to it. It's all fuselage and just the annular ring. It's got rigging wires going all the way down, which I'll emulate somehow. So let's look at the plan. I've had this one, say it is an AutoZone plan, but I've had it actually printed out on a sheet for me. So it's 33 inches wingspan, 3 to 4 function, and I think it just looks amazing. There's quite a large fuselage actually. Great big top and bottom under fins, 3/16 under fin. Not sure what the top one is, but that seems quite heavy to me. Interesting undercarriage, tricycle, 2 big wheels at the back and a small one at the front. Should be interesting. Actually shows some rigging wire. It's set up for PAW diesel, which is obviously mine will be electric. Interesting there, that 3/16 sheet fin. So it is, there's the rudder, so it's 3/16 top and bottom. I might even make those built up actually, because the original wouldn't have been solid wood, would it? Not that I'm going to do a huge scale model, but it doesn't show any windshield. I'll have to look at some photographs of the original if I can find some. 0.4 ply doublers to here. The F1, F2, F3, F4, F5 balsa, F6 looks like it's all ply up to there. So I might cut these out on the laser or draw them up. And here's the wing. Look at that. Fantastic. Showing the rigging wires going down. So what we got here? We've got the undercarriage is pretty narrow actually, so be a bit wobbly. Built up elevator. What's that mean? For shape of later marker ailerons, see scale drawing. Okay, not sure what that means. Wings are permanently attached to the body. It's not the sort of thing you want to cartwheel, is it? Oh, this is good. Lamination, 0.4 ply, 16th balsa, 0.4 ply on the inside. On the outside, what's that then? Got a laminated spar. Laminated spar. Can we see a wing rib anywhere? Is it on that one? It is. Oh yeah. So, oh, there's the laminations for the main spar. Leading edge is laminations of 16th and 0.4 pliers again. Here's the wing ribs. Wing rib 2, the inside edge is what you would call the leading edge. Wing ribs are produced by the sandwich method, giving the transition of section around the ring. Okay, looks like I've got 2 cockpits. All good fun, eh? Very unusual design. And that's why the main spar is laminated, of course, because it's completely curved. I was just wondering about the... Oh no, there it is, yeah. So, quite a bit of wire bending to do for the undercarriage. But apart from that, it looks like it's going to be a very unusual and quite a fun build. But I'm going to start looking around, check my balsa wood supplies, and I always start on the fuselage, so that's what I'm going to start on today. And I think that's probably a good move because those rings, the wings we call them, are going to be a bit delicate until they're glued up and what have you. I'll probably tissue cover it, doculum and tissue to give it that authentic look. Yeah, what an unusual aeroplane. See you in a minute, whenever that minute is. Cheers, guys. There we go, guys. A quick update. I've started to lay down one of the fuselage sides. It's 8 by 3/16, so I've stripped up some 3/16, some 1/8 into some 3/16 strips, and just laid them, laid them down, put the zigzags in, diagonals, and the uprights, and I think when that's dry, I'll just bring the plastic over the top and lay the second one over the top. And yeah, probably okay to do that now. It's quite a simple structure. The front end is 1/8 sheet balsa, which as I've got another plan, I might use that just to pinprick out a piece there, and I can glue it all together. Then I can pop it off and cut the formers. I'll probably just hand cut them. It'd be a lot quicker than drawing them on the computer and lasering them, to be honest. So making good progress. Quite nice. Quite an easy thing. Very easy actually. Just your standard sort of construction. The inside of the 1/8, these arrows denote the 1/8. But on the inside of that, we've got a 0.4, I should say, 0.4mm ply doubler to stick on. This 1/4 plywood engine plate, which fills the area between the two sides, I won't be using because I'm not putting an engine with a fuel tank in. Put a motor, I'll have to cut another, find the motor and put in another bulkhead here to mount the motor to, and then I'll put a floor in. Let's have a look. F4 has got, should have a hole in it. Okay, it's only got quite a, well, in saying that, it's only quite a small hole. That hole looks just about the right size for 3S2200 battery, so I might stick to that. These slots here are for the 1/4 ply bearer, which so I'm not going to use. I'll need a floor of some sort. I might reduce that to 1/8 ply as the undercarriage comes up. In fact, the undercarriage, the front leg strut, butts onto that, look. So F3 is here, so that will probably bind to it somehow. F3, yeah. So drilled the holes to bind the front strut to. Why I said 2, I have to look at a front view, but so yeah, I'll use F3 and I'll probably reduce that to 1/8 up to there, and then put a F1A, we'll call it, in there. Quite a low fuss line as well, that's interesting. It's not the end of the world if my motor's going to lift the fuss line up very slightly, but it should be about right. So yeah, there we are, good start, good start. Just to remind you what it looks like. It looks like that. Fantastic. Oh, by the way, I was reading the instructions. I was saying about the wing ribs, surely some of them's going to have the trailing edge facing forward. But no, as it goes around, because you made them in the sandwich method, as it goes around, they slowly change to being leading edge this side on this part of the circle, and the trailing edge on this part of the circle, and opposite on the outside edge. So I just love unusual aeroplanes, especially scale ones. I mean, I do really love unusual aeroplanes. Anyway, I'm going to cut out this 1/8 sheet, glue it in, bring the film over and build the other side, and I'll see you back soon. Okay, cut out the front former side, I should say, duplicated it for the port side. So now I'm going to glue that in there, bring that one down onto there because it tapers, and then that's stepped for the bottom sheet. So let's pop it on. Pop it on. Just thought I'd show you that, guys. Just thought I'd show you. Glue to about there. Glue to there. A bit round the bend. A bit round the bend. I like to sort of spread it on thinly, and then it'll fill the gaps, if you know what I mean. Put a little bit on that end grain, good measure. Okay. Go, a few pins and we're in business. Make sure everything's lining up there. Model can only be as good as the drawing, can't it, really? Let's put that there, pull it in. These slots to pick up the leading and trailing edges. Actually, wouldn't there be? Oh yeah, 3 slots. Leading edge, middle, and rear main spar. Trailing edge itself. Yeah, rear main spar, it just butts on. Anyway, we'll find out. Just use a little bit of wood on there. Save denting it. I think we're happy with that. Let's just put a couple of weights on there while it all sets up, and then I'll do the other side and I'll come back to you. Okay then, guys, we've waited a couple of hours or so, so let's just take the blocks off, pull the pins out and get this lovely structure off the board. Nearly there. Okay, one side, let's get with that, one side. Nice. Got to trim that to straight across, 1/8 of an inch. Gone to a lot of trouble to mark up the inside, and I forgot I've got to put the doublers on over the top, so that would be all covered up. So we'll just sand that down to match. There's a hatch here. The plan's called for a hatch from on this bit, but I might extend it right down to the front, so I can, or at least halfway down to the front between F2 and F4, so as I can get the battery in. Right, that's the size apart from the doubler. I could cut the doublers out now. The doubler's got a lovely shape. You can see that curves around like that, which is nice. The other thing I've got to do next, well, apart from the doublers, is to cut out the formers. What have we got here? What are they made out of? 1/8 ply. Oh, that's probably why I said I'll cut them out on the laser. I can cut the balsa wood ones out, but it's so much easier just to whip a square out on the laser and know it's absolutely accurate. Interesting to see it's got this sort of double line going on here, and the double line is the angle of the fuselage because it comes right in, bends right in, and they suggest you sort of wet the wood, steam it, whatever, to bring it in, which I'll have to do. There's other things to do as well. The front cabane, or the cabane I should say, is bound to this former. Another reason perhaps to do it on the laser, because I can just punch all these little holes on the laser for the stitching. But I do have to cut out an intermediate one. I'll dig out the correct size motor. I might leave the former. But well, I might be able to. We've got a top view here. Have a quick look. Yeah, here's a top view, guys. That former is going to be in here depending on the size of the motor, and I want to make it a little bit thicker, so I might cut that out of 1/4 ply. Okay, let me get on with the formers, and we'll reconvene perhaps when I've stuck the doublers on. We'll reconvene and we'll start assembling the fuselage, and I might just assemble it over the plan. Another reason to have these lovely blocks, I can just stand them upright, the required width with the formers in between. Perfect. Right, see you soon. Here's a nice picture to show you. The doublers, I've used 1 mil, not 1/2 mil, but they're so light, I'm not worried. I've cut out F1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, whatever it is, and out of 1/8 ply on the laser. They're ready to go in. I've also cut out the balsa formers. They're also ready to go in. So the fuselage is just about ready to start assembly, but for the fact I have to glue the doublers onto the inside of each piece. Now you can see I've marked starboard to starboard and port to port, and I think I've made a boo-boo. Welcome to the land of boo-boos. I've marked the former positions up on the side I'm going to glue. So it was a bit daft, wasn't it? I wonder if I can swap them around. Should be able to, really. They should be the same size. And then it'll save me marking them up again. I just transferred the pin holes into this. So that goes on there, that goes on there. Yeah, okay, fine. Okay, let's try that. It actually soaks into the balsa, so you've got to work quite quickly. If you put it on the ply, it sort of makes it go curvy. So it's drying now. Let's spread it around a bit. Okay, so we're going to drop that on like that. And if I put the plastic around, I can weigh them both down together, can't I? So let's just load all the blocks on. Stop it curling for the minute. Yeah, if you mark the position of the formers on your wood, it doesn't make life easy when you come to assemble it. Oops, it's moving. you can see exactly where they need to go, and you can see that they're upright and everything else, so it's well worth doing. Compared to the Lunac, this is going to be a pretty quick build. Very quick build, in fact. Because in the old days, we would glue this with contact glue, and you've only got one chance when you put that on, isn't it? It's just stick it on and it's done. And this probably actually isn't far off the same, but there is a little bit of wiggle room. Just lining up the holes, the front, the sides. There's a small overlap here and there, which I'll have to sand off afterwards. Okay, just move those off. Move the plastic. Don't want the two sides sticking to each other. That'll do. It's coming curling off it already. Weight on there. What have I got? See if I've got something I can put on there and then put the weights on, guys. So I'll see you back when it's time to start assembling that fuselage, I think. Okay guys, I've got a little steaming machine here. And I'm going to have a go at steaming it with that. So I'll start on the plywood. Put on the balsa. This is where it all springs apart. Start easing it around here. If you're using steam, be careful, it's hotter than hot water. What I thought I'd try and do is to set it up to dry with the weights. There's also a slight bend back here as well. I think I can ease that around without too much trouble. But this is the one that's going to be really quite curvature. It's sort of constant from there to there. Probably the worst part there, but see how we get on. Anti-bend. Probably if I'd done it with 0.4 ply, it would have been a lot easier. But I'll work with what we got. I'll keep going here, guys. You see the principle. I'll do it to both sides and we'll just see if it actually just stays in place. If it doesn't, well, it will have eased it in the right direction. I did read actually interesting about bending balsa. I don't know if the same applies to plywood. And that is, what you're doing is basically melting the sap between the fibres of the wood and then letting them reset, so that it's the sap that bends, if you like, and the fibres just follow along. But it sounds interesting. Right, it's been about 5 hours, so let's have a look, see what we've got. I did wedge up the back end and that's bent nicely, so that's good. But I very much doubt this is going to be as good as that, the plywood on it, but we'll see. I mean, it's going to have bent it a little bit, isn't it? Well, we got a bit of bend now, look, and the rest hopefully will come in a bit.